All right. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. On this beautiful Monday morning in the spring, I'm going to start again my morning chit-chats on the way to work because it's nicer outside now, and honestly the camera could see me because it's daylight earlier, so I'm not going into work in the dark. Block that off. Alright, what I want to complain about today would probably be the media, the mainstream media. Now, they pretend to play a game with the American people. I'm talking about American media, of course. They pretend to play a game with America like they don't work for the big, powerful elites, and they would give you the scoop because they're on our side, the media. They don't sleep in the same bed with the president or the FBI or politics in general. So they want to push to us, the American public, like, hey, we want to give you the scoop. We want to tell you what's what. We're not in it for money. We're in it to bring the truth to light. And honestly, I think that's how it started. I really do think that that's what started. I mean, the media. People really wanted to bring to light injustices that were going on with the elites, with the politics, with the country. They wanted to show the public so we can all be informed and basically make choices in an intelligent way based on the facts. But that's changed. It feels like now the journalists want to become a part of the media because they want to become the elites themselves, if not buddy with the elites. I mean, when you see a gala going on that has the media and the president all in the same room, and they're all together poking fun at a certain media person because he was let go, or all poking fun at the fact that, hey, yeah, you guys watch me good, that's why I can't get nothing over. But you guys are all dining together. You are all on the same side of the boat. The American people are on the other side. You are all on the same side. And I believe, from the outside looking in, as a random, normal person in this country with no connections whatsoever, I think politics are basically told to the media what they can and can't say. On both sides. Fox or CNN, MSNBC or NBC or ABC. They are told what they can or can't talk about. Now, I am not talking about independent media because they are doing God's work right now. And if it wasn't for them, honestly, we would probably all be in the dark. And of course, that's come up because of, I would have to say, the internet, social media, things of that sort. But the way we are looked at like idiots by the media, and honestly, I don't watch mainstream news. I can't. It just feels like they're trying to get me mad at somebody. Every time I watch the news, I don't care if I'm watching Fox or CNN or NBC or whoever. If I'm watching CNN, they're trying to get me mad about Trump. They're trying to get me mad about conservatives that don't want their kids castrated at 8 years old. They want me mad at parents that want to basically keep their kids safe from the government. And then if I watch Fox, Fox wants me mad at all those blue-haired nutty people that have pronouns and basically get mad at teachers for waving their hands and stuff. The stupid little, the weak Generation Z. The one who can't take speech because it hurts their feelings. But it seems like both sides want me mad at somebody. And it's crazy because there's something really big going on right now across the world. And I don't think it's a big enough issue. When we're arguing about sex and gender and Trump and every other fucking problem under the sun, there is a World War III brewing right now that we are tickling. And the fact that, half the country seems to be okay with that. How? Because the mainstream media has made it okay for you to stick up for Ukraine. We side with Ukraine, so we're all about that war. But that same side 50 years ago was anti-war in every facet. Fuck, they were anti-war 20 years ago when it came to Iraq. And now all of a sudden, that side trusts the media, trusts big tech, trusts big company, big pharma, corporate, government. What the fuck is going on? I think I used to side with the left all growing up because they stood for things that I thought was just, as a kid you think world peace, the biggest thing. What's the best in the world peace? Anti-war, anti-hate. And that's what honestly I thought the left side was all growing up. I thought it was for the small guy, sticking up for the little guy, against big corporate, against big government. You can't hold us down. We want freedom. We want to be able to just do what we want to do. But now it's flipped. That side now is completely for war. They are 100% behind corporations. Fuck, corporations are paying them in the grassroots level to produce their products. They're paying them to spread hate. It's really crazy what a 180 has happened on the left side. And that line to the middle now is kind of pushed way over to the right now. So now if you're conservative, but you also are okay with legalizing weed and gay marriages for the most part through the government, not through religion, because you can't force religion to do what they are not supposed to do. It's tyranny. Come on. The fuck you doing? But it seems to be what's going on. It's just funny. And the one side is the one that's always screaming, you're a Marxist, you're this, you're that. And honestly, when somebody is screaming, you can't shut down my speech, while simultaneously trying to shut down someone's speech, is hypocrisy at the highest levels. When I see these little videos of a bunch of kids that want to be Marxist and are all for that and calling everybody else I can't think of the word. I think it's Marxist, but they're calling them Marxists as they're stopping their speech. I think they're joking. And honestly, it's been pushed in the media and it's so far gone now to where it's scary. It really feels like we are all being pushed to hate each other. So when it finally does hit the fan, the government can step in, strip all the rights, say, hey, we can make peace, and this is how we're going to do it, and all the good people left have to listen to us. And that's what it feels like. That's where it's going. To where we are all children that are fighting each other only because we have been told to fight with each other now through the news, of course, puppeted by big government behind them, because they're behind them pulling the strings. So we all have been told for the last 20, 30, 40 years to hate your neighbor. I swear to God, in the 90s was probably the least racist time in this country's history. It was racist back with slavery, and racism went down and down and down and down. And I think by the time the 90s came, it was far enough after Martin Luther King to where honestly everybody felt, listen, he was right. Judge the person on their merits. Judge the person on their character. Don't even look at their skin. Don't even mind their skin. It's a person. Whether it's a good or bad person will tell you based on his actions, her actions. And then after the 90s, it started to morph into, all of a sudden, we were all getting less racist, to the media pushing racist things in the media, to where there's thousands and thousands of people dying off of like smoking and sugar and car accidents and all this other shit. But there's 5 shootings by a cop to a black person, when there's 20, 30, 40 to white people, but they're not hot. But the 5 were glamorized so much, that's what the country fell in love with. Not every other fucking problem like diabetes and overweight and obesity and smoking and everything else. That wasn't a problem. No. The problem was those 4 or 5 black guys that got shot. It's horrible they got shot. But the fact that was pushed and that agenda was pushed to hate your neighbor, and it turned into a victim and victim-y mentality. A victim and oppressor, yeah. That's what it turned into. So now instead of judging a person on their merits, their character, their insides, judge them wholly on the color of their skin. That's it. That's what the world is now. And of course, the medias are pushing it. They're still pushing it. To judge your neighbor on the color and their gender. And once you have that judgment on the color or gender, then take that into consideration, and then what they say only pushes your claim whatsoever. It just pushes it in one way or another. It confirms it. What the fuck? Oh my God, every driver now. It's just sad. It really is sad. And the fact that people don't see that they are being told to hate your neighbor just by watching the news. Why watch that disgusting shit? It's horrible. It's hateful. And we don't need it. There's real independent journalists out there doing real journalism. That they're not judging on color of their skin based on the story. What they're doing is they're telling a story, they're telling you the facts, and they're getting the inside scoop on the elites, on the political, like Taibbi, and I think there's a girl and a guy that do a show that's pretty good too, that gives both sides of the coin. But again, it doesn't happen often, and I really wish it did. I really wish the media would push togetherness. Show a story if something horrible happens, but tell the truth. Stop pushing one side or another, right or left, Fox or CNN. And the people, don't hate your neighbor based on their color. Don't. It's not good for you. We're heading in a bad direction, and it's gonna get nuts before it gets better. And it's really, really sad. Well, good morning, Monday.